Welcome Goobers to the first mini-series of the channel, where I'm going to be going over every bot from the Legacy Evolution Troop Builder multi-pack, starting off with the Decepticon Seeker. We're starting here because he's the first in box order, but also probably the blandest of the bunch, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's something so interesting about having a figure of essentially nobody, or not a real character, but more the idea of what a generic Decepticon is. I think it was a good choice to go with this specific blue, for it can be associated with a ton of different Seeker characters already, so he can sort of blend into the background. If you want him to stand in as somebody, he'd probably work best as either a Thundercracker or Bitstream, probably the latter for me. The blue, it quite isn't Thundercracker enough, you know? He stands out from the multi-pack for a few reasons. For one, he's the only Voyager, and for a pack that costs a $77.99, the price of 3 deluxes, you almost get this guy for free, which is kind of cool. This whole set reminds me of like a BotCon box set, and I mean that in all the best ways. Secondly, he's the only character in this pack that doesn't come with an alternate head, which I get because it's hard to get his head off as it is, but maybe a cone head option would have been nice. I don't know. It's not that bad, but I think it would have been more interesting. Silver parts also pop out super well, but as a whole, he's very much just a run-of-the-mill Seeker, which is the point, but it's kind of hard to talk about. I don't think the full effect of him being a goon works best when he's all by himself, but as soon as you start placing with other Seekers, it works a lot better. Not much to talk about in terms of weaponry. My god. Not much to talk about in terms of weaponry, as it's just the null rays, which are fine, but not really exciting. They should go on the arms, but if you want, you can hold them as well, if you're a psychopath. Me. That's me. I'm a psychopath. Articulation is pretty alright, not as dynamic as it could be, and getting aerial poses with flight stand is kind of difficult, but it's definitely not the worst articulation I've seen. It just checks the boxes, and what more for a generic Seeker to do. The F-15 Eagle jet mode is very nice, but once again, not much to really talk about here. Just to reiterate, the colors are very nice and the choice of this soft blue is very pleasing to the eye. It also has a lot of swooshability, and the stability is actually the best I've seen on this mold, for I remember Starscream's wings constantly falling off. All of the greebly detail is nice to see as well, and it gives it more life. Look, if we're being honest here, you probably aren't buying this multi-pack for the Seeker, as the interest factor definitely increases as we continue in this mini-series. But that doesn't mean he's bad. The Decepticon Seeker does a very good job at being a background generic, and that's all he's really made for, besides the troop building, which sort of requires me to buy more of the same thing, which I really don't want to do. He'll make a perfect stand-in for Thundercracker or Bitstream in your collection if you want to turn him into a character, which for the most part I'll be doing with all these goobers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to tune in for the next few weeks as I go over the other goons and geeks in this multi-pack. It only gets better from here. Take care, and have a good one.
I swear I've seen you before. Oh, I know. Skywarp.
Are you stupid?
No, wait. It's Acid Storm? Or is it Ramjet?
I'm nobody. I'm nobody.
Hey, don't say that. Come here. You're not a nobody to me. You're my friend.
Thanks, buddy. I needed that.
Do you want to get ice cream or something?
Sure, man.